Hello, everyone. Are we ready? Are we ready to become a lawyer in a couple of months? Because our boyfriend decided to die on us.
It's time for the montage of sitting on the ship while grieving over his sword.
Hi, Clav. How you doing?
Hello.
We're very upset. Last time was very sad. All right, cutscene time. Oh boy.
Already have a bad feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter winter. A murder in a carriage as it sped through dense London fog.
Is it?
In
Hold
the
on.
dead of night. Though the victim and the perpetrator were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime.
Better?
However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such
Great.
a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, once said of the incident, I believe that perhaps that case was indeed the prelude. The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese students
Ooh.
were able to play together.
Ooh.
A long concerto.
Concerto.
Oh my. Whoa. Fancy.
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
He looks very manly.
He does look very manly.
And also very rightly.
Yeah, very Phoenix Wright.
This country is incredible.
Wow.
Hi, West. Do you pretend to be a conductor? What is this?
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
Let's trust this random guy.
In
Yeah.
that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My pleasure.
It is a game, I promise. It's just a cutscene.
I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay. And welcome to the centre of the world, Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
Right? Aren't they pretty cool cutscenes?
There's a lot more I wanted to see in that cutscene.
What is this?
Whoa.
Is this our new
The
courtroom?
London Supreme Court of Judicature.
Hi, Riddles. How are you?
Wow.
Wow, the British Supreme
More-
Court is different than what I thought it would be.
The Chief Justice's office.
Oh, this is the Chief Justice's office, not actually the courtroom.
I'm with her.
What an incredible place.
It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating.
This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. The office in the top of Big Ben, wouldn't that?
Yes,
and that's you
that's
know
what it
you're
is!
right. You're right. That's
It's in
probably what it
Big
is.
Ben!
That's gotta be.
Ah,
That's ridiculous.
brilliant. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course.
Like this?
Like this.
Like
you
this
know,
exactly?
big.
What part of Japan have you been to?
But they've only been built in the few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. I just want to make a terrible joke. Big Benihana.
Oh.
It's the worst joke, though.
Big
It's the
Benihana.
worst. An authentic example like
I
this
love
has
you.
quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? Far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. In other words, I like clocks.
It's certainly unfamiliar. But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. What is this place again?
It's a clock.
I didn't read the text when we came in.
The sign on the door said, "This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Naruhodo-san." Remember how we talked about reading things, like signs?
You know I can't read English.
The Supreme Court of Great Britain, that's where we are. Also in Big Ben.
Lord Chief Justice.
Oh boy. We're gonna meet this guy. We had instructions to report here at this time. If circumstances were different, Kazuma-sama would be reporting here at this time, and instead I'm stuck with you. I mean, we were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan.
Yeah, you know, if certain people were alive. But Kazuma can't.
Kazuma.
He's still paralyzed and very much alive.
No.
He's still alive.
Kazuma. So instead we're here in a different capacity.
We're here to deliver his corpse.
As envoys to report the news of Kazuma-sama's death.
Yeah.
And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done.
So we'd have to return to Japan.
So let's just not report it, I guess.
Yeah, so let's just leave.
If we want to remain here in Great Britain, we should probably peace out right now.
Right. I have to take Kazuma's place as the law student selected for the study tour. Also, I'm not supposed to be here in the first place, so let's hope that doesn't come up.
Which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer, which we've tried really hard on.
I've studied for like 2 months. I am ready to go. That's how long lawyers need to study, right? Which is what I've been studying for.
Here in Great Britain is the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. I wonder if that's true. That's the second reason why we're here, to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. The only way that we'll be able to remain here in London. Otherwise, they ship us right back.
It's Lord Chief Justice comes in and goes, "Yep, that's a lawyer."
Looks like a lawyer to me.
Yeah, good job. I hope I'm up to scratch. I hope I look like a lawyer.
Who's this going to be? Let's find out who they are.
Okay, let's look.
Oh boy.
Oh, what the fuck?
Holy! Boy, okay. Wow. You're...
Lawyer Sholmes, I bet he's as good as lawyering as solving crime.
Jesus, you're imposing.
Lawyer Sholmes would be... He'd be a very bad lawyer.
Oh boy.
Oh.
I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. Oh. Seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes, and 47 seconds late. My apologies.
An entire hour, though, is a lot. Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do.
In me. How fortunate. So, introductions. I'm Male Strongheart. Male Strongheart. I'm a strong-hearted male.
I am a male. And I feel like a little mouse
Lord
under an elephant's
Chief
foot.
Justice, yada yada. Come on, Naruhodo-san. Don't be a mouse.
Oh, it's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. Come on, Naruhodo-san, don't be a bottom. I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo from the Empire of Japan.
From the Empire of Kazuma-san. Well, Mr. Naruhodo. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire.
Did you train those birds in the background, or?
I had them waiting just for you.
Yes, thank you.
Whoosh. This
Shall
guy.
we examine first?
Sure.
Let's examine around.
Just, you know, let this guy stand here.
Right.
This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble.
I'm right here, actually. It looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me.
I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruhodo.
Feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home is made of bricks and stone here.
No, that's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure. Like, in a factory.
Oh my god. No, I'm not reading that out loud, Sean. Why? Why would you say that?
Kudos.
Oh no, no.
No, I don't think we're saying that out loud either.
Look at all the books.
The books!
The
Look at
books packed together on these shelves, they go from floor to ceiling.
And they're all books that you couldn't hope to come by in Japan or ever read. It's like a dream.
Yes, a very bad dream.
Remember
how my boyfriend died on the way over?
It was all just a bad dream. They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial systems of other Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland, the Netherlands. Is that the same thing?
What about Russia?
Russia? Why do you ask?
I was wondering about asking Lord Chief Justice how to say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think?
Nice one, but too soon. Perhaps it's a thought best abandoned.
Too soon indeed. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room. The sexual tension is palpable.
Ugh. They're both holding their swords, I see. I believe they're suits of armor.
Oh, right, well, the armor certainly suits them.
Ha ha ha.
I thought they were maybe like the lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates.
No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know?
Oh.
And they roam around in the middle of the night. You just wake up.
I think that's your imagination.
Hunt you down.
Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Miss Susato?
They
Why
challenge
do you
to
just
a
believe this?
This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask. It's my diary.
My god. Okay, Susato, okay. Susato is definitely something. But the fact that Ryunosuke never, ever challenges anything ever said to him is a lot. Where did she get that incredible tome?
He's just like, sure, everything that's in that book. Sounds great.
Right. I think that's all? No. There's a big clock tower. Is this some kind of clock?
That's really observant for you. I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. Those gears are larger than anything you'd find on a steam locomotive even.
It's eerie. Don't you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? Or do you think clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean.
Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they? Wait, I'm a minor.
I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size. I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise those cogs make considering how large they are. It's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. Okay, I think that's all.
Talk to the big man.
Okay, let's talk to the big man. Hello, big man.
So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London?
Oh, help. I've been so nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city.
It's splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo?
Absolutely. Super splendid.
It's the bestest. Oh? We had a wonderful view of some of London's streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and totally weird. I mean, grand. I'm almost lost for words because I've never seen a place like this. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramways, piped water and gas, and even cables supplying electricity.
Ooh.
We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Oh, yes, astounded. That's definitely the word.
Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san.
And everyone seems so jolly and full of Vigor with a U. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming great exhibition we will be hosting here in London.
Great exhibition.
Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It will be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop.
Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be.
Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world.
Even if you do say so yourself.
The sun will never set on our great empire. Knock on wood. Oh wait, we made everything out of stone and metal.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is fate that in these progressive times we welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun.
Where's that?
That's where you came from.
Oh, that's where that's my, okay.
That would be you.
Okay. Lord Chief Justice, I think you were expecting a student of law for the study tour, weren't you?
Absolutely, obviously. Mr. Kazuma Asogi, if my memory serves.
That's right.
The British government has already been telegraphed a full report on the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores.
That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived.
Later they'll call it a tweet. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours.
Oh, thank you.
And you honored this appointment specifically to inform me of the news.
Yes.
Nice cravat.
Also, we wanted to stick around. We're here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person.
They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that it's true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you. Get back on the boat, we're shipping you back home. Well, the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed.
If you would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart.
What do you have to say, madam?
It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhodo here would like to make a proposal.
Will you wait,
Not that one.
Would he now? Well, Mr. Naruhodo.
Is it then a moment of truth? Would you do me the honor? The thing is, Lord Justice, sir, Lord Strongheart, I'm currently now single. I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead?
Don't misunderstand me. Britain would ideally like to see the tour go ahead, but without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done. Go back on the ship with you.
Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean?
Don't see one around. Is there something I don't know?
What, that cane, though?
Yeah, cane and the...
Hi, Ren. How you doing? That is a very long cane.
Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country.
Okay, have a good one, Riddles.
Oh.
Good night.
Thank you for coming.
I have a birthday stream on Sunday. You should come.
And that was Mr. Sogi. At least that is what I've been led to understand.
Well, the thing is, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. He's just so handsome and imposing.
Mr. Naruhodo.
I can ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say? If there's someone else from here, someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer. It's Mr. Sato. There's no one. Bye. We're going back to Japan. It's me. It's me. I can do it.
Is that so? Yay.
I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but you're not supposed to say that, my dude. You're supposed to say, I'm super good, and I have a lot.
No qualifications, you say, and yet you still claim to be a lawyer.
I studied for like 5 minutes.
Drop to your knees now.
I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. And I had Kazuma help me, and I was the accused, but glossing over the details.
Susato is facepalming hard.
Right. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on the SS Buria.
Alright, pop quiz. Tell me one thing you learned about British law. Just one. I'm waiting. I'm watching the clock.
You have laws.
That we do.
And if you go do something that is against those laws, it's illegal.
Alright, you do know one thing about the British Empire. The voyage from Japan is some 50 days, I believe. Not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training.
I realize it's far too short of a period of time, but I can't just go back to Japan.
That's totally how the law works.
Kazuma, Mr. Asogi's journey had only just begun.
Kazuma!
Coming here on the study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Just one chance. It's all I'm asking for.
So tell me one more
Please.
thing about British law, then.
It's illegal to murder someone.
He keeps passing. 31 seconds.
Sorry?
Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruhodo, was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted, a perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer.
I get an opening statement in this court? Oh, thanks.
So you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? I'm all for entertainment. Look at me, don't you think I like entertainment?
Sure.
But let me ask you one thing first, sir.
Yes?
You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path, including every one?
As firm as you can say, as I can stand. Yes. Very firm. Well, yes, that's my intention.
I see.
Am I imagining things? Or did his expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden?
Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you.
Really? So, what form will the test take exactly? Well, you see there's this couch over here.
Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? This is the quiz, by the way. This is the test.
Defending people, of course.
Well,
except if you're a prosecuting lawyer, and then it's, prosecuting.
You do know the difference between a defense lawyer and a prosecutor. So, let's have you defend someone then, because you talked about the defending thing first, so...
Huh?
Go with that one. Your timing's perfect, in fact. There's an apt trial about to begin later today.
There's just a trial ready to go.
Just a perfect trial all lined up for you. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as yet, so this will be welcome news. It's one of those lower tier trials, you know, we don't like to waste our good lawyers on those.
Yeah,
so
this is a lawyer, lower tier.
the discount bin.
Exactly.
trials.
It's only a murder, so.
Not even an interesting murder.
Right. Hey, so I see that you're accused of a crime. We just got this fresh off the boat.
Literally.
Japanese student who does not have any experience in lawyering, and he's going to be your defense lawyer. Good luck.
I feel bad for whoever this is.
This is gonna be like, what the fuck?
What is
Okay.
going on here?
Today?
What? I don't think I can say this.
Yeah, there is no straight.
If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler?
Oh, how did I get myself in these situations?
Well, your best friend died, and
I got shoved into his luggage.
so what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Oh, just a murder. Good question. I remember. Nice little everyday murder.
Yeah, it's a murder. Fucking.
A murder?
Oh yes, a simple.
Extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose.
That's easy to say.
But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, I'm sending you back to Japan. Oh, and he will of course be sentenced to capital punishment, so his life is literally in your hands.
Right, so if you fuck this up, then 2 people will have died. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death?
In Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably you read that much in your short C-based introduction to British law.
Yeah.
Sure. We can't possibly agree to such a test. He totally is not up for this. We would be toying with a man's life. I am the Lord Chief Justice, and I've decided it's acceptable.
And what I say is the law.
Damn.
But you can't do that, can you?
I just did. You just saw me, I did it. There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose.
He wants whoever.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
yeah.
You see the guy on the defense, the defendant stand, the accused.
Yeah, he wants the accused to lose real bad.
He was my kindergarten rival.
Right. The defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court. If I fail to perform, I'll be hanged.
Mr. Naruhodo, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer.
I claim to be studying to be a lawyer.
If you want me to take you seriously, you need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen.
I thought it was just gonna be a blowjob or something.
I just would like to see this man die, you see.
He's testing my resolve.
But I have to do it in a legal way. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. In about 5 minutes.
Shortly? Wait a minute.
Need an answer from you now. What's it to be?
What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? I won't do it.
Yes.
I'll do it. Alright then, if I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it, I can't get the words
You're
out.
normally so good at screaming yes. 15 seconds. Your decision-making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So, it's as I suspected, is it?
Sorry?
You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. Test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Sending you back to the boat. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over.
But... yes, Lord Strongheart.
Are you really just gonna take that, Naruhodo-san? I know you just take a lot of things.
Right,
but...
I can't help how much of a bottom I am.
Well, big strong man orders me to leave, and...
Thank you for offering me a chance.
Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry, Miss Usato, but what could I do?
Like anything at all? But I understand.
You do?
I mean, I didn't want that guy to die on your account, so...
You're a total idiot.
Not easy to choose here. The resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madam?
I think what Miss Susato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be truly unforgivable, and I feel exactly the same way.
And yet you're going to do it ultimately, aren't you?
Probably. I'm sure the defendant wouldn't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. A lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, the particular day they stand on the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice.
Well, you passed the test.
Yeah, probably.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh, was there something else?
It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. The Old Bailey is my favorite pub. If you leave immediately, you should still be there on time.
But I just said that...
I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him.
What?
His name is Miles Edgeworth. He can't hope to find someone
He's
to represent
alive?
him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there's only one possible outcome. He will die. That's how the law works. We just kill him right away. He'll receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down.
That's fucked up.
Just hang him on the spot.
But that's awful.
That is the truth. No one gives a shit about him, so... Why does it have to be like this? I want to go home now. Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold, hard truth of the matter is that there's only one person now with a chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you!
I'm really his only hope?
So, give it the old college try. What do you say now, madam? Me? Well, what do you mean? Lord Strongheart, have you figured out that I'm the one who actually knows how to do this lawyering thing? That it wasn't an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh? Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. I must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourselves! Have a lovely time, go watch a show, enjoy the theater! He's gone. Did that really just happen?
The Old Bailey.
We're going to do this, Mr. Naruhodo. We must leave at once. Okay.
Alright, let's look around.
Yeah, examine.
Alright, let's go.
Whoa.
Ugh.
Going to illustrious court. Oh, here we go. That's looking familiar. Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins.
I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose.
Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? It was a great joke. I made a really funny joke. Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you.
A what?
What? It's one of my favorite lines from the Sherlock Holmes stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm going to give him a guinea pig later.
I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were gonna die and we had to pay gold for this for the privilege.
Well, at least we arrived here before the trial started.
Yes, I suppose there's that.
Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here. There's no sign of him at all. He's that face.
So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait is grand.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'm feeling tense, that's all.
Daijoubu desu ka?
Daidobu. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from the Supreme Court of Judicature in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. Feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed.
Yes, whoever the man you're to defend is. Imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment.
It's me.
Oh boy.
Oh no!
Guess we're gonna find out. Oh god.
Oh god, who is this? Oh no!
Lord, what? Oh my.
Oh good god.
Oh man.
What do you do and follow me here? Things fair and desperate, are they? As I please ignore whatever the fuck. It's like German, Irish, and like
yes.
like fucking New York at the same time. Please don't judge me. Sorry.
God.
Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the East, are yous? We're from Japan, yes. Oh, Japan, is it right? Say no more. So, how much yous need? No, we're just here because... No need to explain, fella. I've been here myself, so I have. No place to go, nothing to eat, barely a penny to your name, all a strange, faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving yous 1,000 guineas, say nothing now.
1,000 guineas?
Please, Miss Susata, you don't have to shout.
But 1,000 guineas is a lot of, it's enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo.
What?
It's a lot of money, Kay.
'Tis nothing to me at all. I like to ensure that I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. Please stop laughing at me.
No. I'm laughing at like, how it seems right now.
Yeah.
Like we're being set up to defend the biggest capitalist in London. And so, like, I'm currently writing a class narrative in my head that we have to defend, like, the equivalent of an oil baron. And
Right.
everybody hates this guy.
Right.
And everyone wants to see him suffer. So,
Maybe we should just go back to Japan.
like, you need to defend Jeff Bezos.
No, I think I'll pass.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Right. I've enough wealth to buy the cities of London 2 or 3 times over. Could that much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. He hit me in the eye.
I could accept it. I'll accept it. I'll take the money.
Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving to you, no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, it's a little embarrassing. Trial's about to begin, you see. It's for me, good self. I'll be on the dock.
This guy stole somebody's clothes.
Right. So now, what I want you to do is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'll be my lawyer, but it's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up there to me, next to me, not more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's gonna start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. Lord Chief Justice wasn't making it all up.
I wish he had been making it all up. Sorry to have to ask, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial?
Does that mean I get paid for defending you?
Wow.
Cluster of blazes, do you not know who I am? Me, one of London's biggest names?
Dear God.
No, sorry, we've just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park, there's a center of...
Yep.
There in the center of London is another beautiful park.
That's where I busk all day.
Sorry,
Show
a
my
park?
magic tricks.
What? It's called McGilded Park. Full of blossoming flowers in the spring and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did.
An entire park? In central London?
The city of smiles, that's my vision for London. Nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city to...
Wow.
And its choir old people.
McGilded?
Magnus McGilded.
Magnus McGilded.
That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. Ah, but... Now they've got the gall to say I'm good for nothing criminal, me, Magnus McGilded. What's the matter with the London police, I ask you? Alright, don't pass out.
He has curls in his hair, like, what's his name? Like, the guy with the curls in his hair. The Master Mask!
Oh, Master Mask, yeah, you're right. Fucking Ron Delight.
Yes. Thank you. Naruhodo-san? Is it too late to go back on the ship?
Right.
I guess now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath.
Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'd do our best. What was I have to say? Yeah, I have to teach it. I've given you 1,000 guinea to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yeah, I suppose I wasn't really offering just to stand up there next to you. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. This Chancellor of a fellow claims to be have more money than the Queen. But if that's true, why the blazes can't he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it! That's the only explanation! Well... well...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yep, exactly. What now? Well, like you said, if you have all that money, but you don't have anyone to represent you in court, there's no other logical conclusion than you're guilty of all the charges.
Wow, you used a lot of brain cells on that one.
Yeah.
Damn. Harsh.
Well, you call a spade in the East, as you do.
Actually, we don't.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean any offense. I still can't express myself very well in English, you see. And I'm never sure what's acceptable to say and what isn't, so... Is that so? Because you sounded fluent enough when you were telling me what a blackguard I must be. I'm terribly sorry. I can't say that I blame you for taking it, Ella. It's a little strange, to be honest. Why you don't have a lawyer, I mean. That would be the fault of the Reaper. What? The what?
Holy... Whoa. Wow.
Sorry? Did he just say Reaper exactly? Like, what is this, Mass Effect?
Shepherd.
Shepherd. Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey, Lord Barock von Zeeks. He's the prosecutor.
I have to go. I should go.
I should go. Yeah, I should go. Yeah.
Now you can see how long it's been since I played Mass Effect.
Yeah, we gotta play the Legendary Edition soon.
The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper?
Well, Van Zeek stands for the prosecution. They call the accused his sacrificial lambs.
Oh boy, I knew that we would finally get to meet whoever's the demon prosecutor.
Whoever's the Miles
today.
Edgeworth.
Yes.
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation mark.
And to this day, in every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, he's
won every one.
He's won every single one.
It's a flawless, perfect
The
record.
accused has been damned, whether or not they lost. What? So it's reached a desperate situation. Whether There's no one willing to stand in defense against this fella at all. You could say he's a living legend of the Old
He's a
Vale.
Grim Reaper and a living legend.
Wow. Goodness, Lord Barak von Zeeks. He must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then.
Or just a scary dude.
Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madame. It's cursed.
Cursed.
Cursed? What on earth?
Oh, hey.
The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. The trial is about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Oh, 'tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. Until you showed your face here. I'd made up my mind, so I had. Sorry. I decided I'd have to defend myself in there. What? How would that have worked?
It would not have worked.
But then you made an appearance, student of law, wouldn't you know? There's no accident. I can assure you of that. 'Tis fate. Don't get cold feet now, please. What a fucking wackadoodle.
I'm still not convinced that this guy didn't just, like, steal somebody's nice clothes.
I literally know nothing about the case or this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him.
How very Phoenix Wright of you.
Yeah.
Mr. Naruhodo.
The man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself.
Doesn't even have a Kazuma-sama to call his own.
Right, he doesn't even doesn't even have a sword like Kazuma did. Yes, something that Kazuma would have never allowed to happen.
I want him to have the sword on him in the courtroom so bad.
I do too.
Exclamation mark.
Counsel for the defense, what were you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you'll lose your right to stand. I'll be right there.
Oh boy.
It's happening then. My first trial in British court. I hope you're watching over me, Kazuma. Because I have no idea how I'm gonna manage this.
Yeah, Kazuma's like,
Clap.
I know.
Clap.
You'll do fine, my cutlet. By which I mean, you're gonna have a hard time. But I'll be here, watching over you. Whoa. Damn. Look at that courtroom. It's kind of like a cathedral.
Right?
Whoa.
Oh, there's a...
Oh, what?
Is there a fucking jury? Is that a motherfucking jury?
Holy shit.
So this is the highest court of Great Britain. The Old Bailey.
Still sounds like a pub.
The centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different from the Supreme Court in Japan.
It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence.
He's got the sword! He's got the sword!
Yes! It's a solemn affair. Are you carrying Kazuma-sama's sword there? May I say something about that, Naruhodo-san?
I don't know how they allowed me to have a sword in the courtroom. Oh, yes, what? Oh god, he's terrified.
Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again.
I know, but I just can't help it. Is it fucking what?
Whoa!
Oh my god,
Wow.
we've got Dracula and fucking Santa Claus.
Okay, I figure I will be the prosecutor since.
Okay.
Am I going to be the judge also out of tradition, and you will be the more witnesses, or what would you like to do?
I can be the judge if you want.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare the court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
Oh boy, I don't even know. Is he supposed to have a German accent here? Like, the prosecution is fully prepared.
That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. He really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld. Counsel for the defense, you appear to be Eastern. Do you speak English? Huh? Oh, yes, of course, sorry. But he asked if the defense was ready. And I couldn't be further from ready if I tried.
Whoa. Hi. Hello.
Excuse me?
Jesus.
Hello? Are you flirting?
Wow. Wow.
We are recently single.
Oh my. Those eyes please me. Nipponese.
Do you also have a sword?
What?
That
Wow.
looks like a rapier
He does.
handle.
He seriously. Oh my god. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb.
A cold shiver just ran down my spine, all the way to the tips of my toes. It's kinda hot. Now, Mr. McGilded. Yes, my lord. You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner? As I've always said, my lord, 'tis a grand thing to give opportunities to the young. Even if the fellow's a student for some little island off in the Far East. England is also an island.
Wow.
Don't understand why they're like, oh, you know, island people.
Mm-hmm.
Is it not the British way to ignore the dangers yourself and give the less fortunate a fair chance? Is it?
Is it?
I'd like to think that the acts of chivalry do the great British Empire proud.
Nothing, Mr. McGilded. What a fine gentleman London has in him.
You donated £5,000 to the government the other day?
That's called taxes.
No play in the McGilded Park.
Seems as though everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded.
That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised he couldn't convince anyone to defend him. Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded. And the most laudable sentiments. Now. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I'm sure I need hardly remind you.
That we have a jury now!
We have a jury!
Wow, look at that.
Why do you have a knife in court?
We're actually gonna get jury mechanics.
No one gives a shit about having weapons in court, I guess.
Nope.
That
Oh
you
boy.
6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are we ready to proceed?
Oh man, oh boy. Yes, my lord, if the task is to send rotters to the gallows where they belong, I'm more than ready.
You are not unbiased. At the manor, his lordship always says that we should dispose of rubbish properly. Naturally, I agree.
Stabbity stab stab! Any criminals here will soon be wishing they'd never set eyes on me. Glug glug glug.
I feel a chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with my knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson. Ah, Mr. Naruhodo, those people are whack.
The jury, yes. It's something we don't have in Japan yet. Or
Basically
apparently ever.
Never get it. That's right, I've only ever read about it. Here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 wackadoodles.
Mm-hmm.
The judge passed his sentence according to law, but the jurors determined guilt based on common sense, of which hopefully they have some. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. An educated one and a totally uneducated one.
But how exactly did the jurors give their verdict?
That I don't know, but I guess we probably should have studied that in the 2 months we had on the ship.
Right?
But I guess it'll become clear as the trial progresses.
Yeah.
Any clues?
Prosecutor Van Zieks.
My lord.
It has been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you'd renounced your fame.
I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity.
So, what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstances of which the court should be aware?
Killed a man.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. I leave that to your imagination, my lord.
So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose the day of all days to make a comeback?
Don't lose heart, Naruhodo-san.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity.
We must be the only ones in here that aren't aware.
The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as thrice-fired mason.
Sorry? The rice? What kind of rice is that? He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible.
Thrice-fired rice? That sounds delicious.
Are you telling me that a shrimp fried this rice?
The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus, didn't she? In service on the streets of London at the time. I've never seen an omnibus used for anything else.
Yeah, right?
Like actual bus. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here's the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Photographic print.
Hell yeah.
And one further item of evidence.
We'll get back to you on that.
Court record.
An armband I inherited from Cosimo!
Cosimo's arm!
It identifies the wearer as a defense lawyer throughout the Empire of Japan.
He's wearing Cosimo's armband.
And gives the cause of death as internal hemorrhaging as a result of a single stab wound to the abdomen. The single stab wound's gonna be who's gonna bring up.
Yep.
They're gonna bring that up.
Uh-huh.
Stab once in the abdomen. Someone's gonna be like, you stabbed him so many times! And it's, yeah.
Okay.
A button is missing.
Oh ho ho.
Alright.
Cool. Prosecution wishes to submit these as well.
And these are? Good lord! Is that blood, counsel?
Yes, my lord, seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested.
What? Mr. McGilden's gloves had blood on them? Yes, I will accept these as evidence at once. Wow. How did I get into this? What the fuck? This is definitely blood, isn't it? Not the most pleasant sight to be confronted with on our first day in London.
Not surprising, given our track record, but nothing will come of grumbling now.
No. By the way, is Mr. McGilden right-handed?
I believe so. He was toying with a coin in his right hand a little earlier.
Ah, pity. Only be left-handed.
I think blood on either glove would be fairly incriminating, really.
Nothing? When I look inside? No. Okay. They're not gonna give us something like that or so early. I backed into a corner before I've even started.
Classic position of
Yeah.
your heritage. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time.
Only 2?
Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded.
That is a very gay point.
This guy is like...
That is the gayest point I've ever seen.
Suss this dude out, but he's very gay.
That is an extremely gay point. I don't think you could get any gayer than that.
That's very gay, say all the jurors.
Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you? Well, ain't that the damnedest thing? Well, of course I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded. To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening, but I was sleeping probably. But whenever I'm, But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it. Why is it always sleeping? Why are they always sleeping? Stay awake! Are you claiming to have been asleep? 'Tis the motion of the carriage, my lord, Littleton it is. When I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I had never laid eyes upon before in me life. Now I ask you, what a good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? Wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand.
The dead man. The stabby stab.
So the blood got on the gloves then, after a man had been killed.
Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning.
What? That's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Order, order, order.
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime.
To the crime.
Crime! It's not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused.
I'm so used to being the accused, I thought you were talking to me.
Is he supposed to be, like, German, or, like, German-English, like a Von Karma kind of thing?
I do not know.
They're not giving him little, like, German things in his language, so...
Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear the testimony from the witnesses after all. First of all, instead of after all. That would be rather silly.
Your wish is my command.
Oh, you don't have to say it like that.
Yes, I do. Bailiff! Bring the witnesses in at once! He's very dramatic. Oh dear. Oh god.
All right.
Oh good
Oh
lord.
my god. All at once?
This is a lot. Witnesses. Your names and occupation. My name is... Well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city.
My name's first. Lady first. I make hats for gents and not for ladies. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident.
A different omnibus, I assume.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir, that's right, sir.
Very well, then let's proceed with your formal testimonies, please.
Oh my god.
Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
This is like pre-exhausting me.
Right?
Got 3 of these dudes and then like 6 people in the jury.
Mm-hmm.
It was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Thank you, Tisha.
Oh, thank you.
And I was sitting funny in my chair, so I do have to sit up. Then, out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed and did. Couldn't help it. As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too.
Lord.
It's okay, Tisha, you don't have to worry.
Thank you for the drinky drinks.
Thank you for the drinky drinks. Unambiguous testimony, I must say.
Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may. Yes, counsel. May I go home now?
Sure, counsel.
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could those 2 witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of a moving carriage.
How quaint.
A fucking idiot is among us.
I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own.
Alright, you don't have to go rub it in.
You're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses?
Huh?
Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus?
Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves. The actual scene of the crime, that is.
I'm gonna drive a bus through this. What do you mean? The actual scene? How?
The carriage is destined to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much.
Yeah, are you gonna stick it in the courtroom? Yes.
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today in this very building.
Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff, bring the entire carriage! Bring forth the stricken omnibus!
Okay, you're actually gonna drive the oh my god.
Wow. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. They brought the whole thing.
So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. I can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. Also, you can see right inside it. 4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop deck above.
Hey, could you speak up a bit, baby?
4 passengers! Seated inside the enclosed cabin and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of this city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Skylight. Oh!
penny drops at last, I see. These two gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats on this omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight. You fool.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Well, Counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom.
Crime.
Crime.
I had a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish.
Somehow with every animation, he just gets gayer.
Seriously.
Very well, I see no reason why not. The omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
Down.
Cool. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene was entered as evidence?
That thing they can do here?
Both inside... I thought they said that there was only 2 people...
What?
like riding on the omnibus.
Well, let's open the door and just go inside. Let's investigate the crime scene while in the middle of the trial.
The scene of a murder is horrible. Oh, okay, we're just gonna investigate the inside of it. Okay.
We actually are.
Okay,
Wow.
well, there's a blood stain. That's blood that's soaked into the seats. A victim's, obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really stab someone in full view of the other passengers like that, I wonder?
Well, it was after dark. And there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
Whatever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. There's a lot of focus on being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition.
Ooh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. I'm gonna go there and become a magical girl.
I was gonna say, what is this? Fucking
Moon Prism Power!
Alright, this is like Final Fantasy shit.
People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event.
Why is it not checkmarked? I guess because we're not done. Here's the skylight. It's quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. Suppose it can't be opened from the inside of the cabin, at least. Okay. Ah, that's a poster for the great exhibition that's due at the Crystal Tower. Blah, 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 blah.
Is there a drawer under there?
The seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it.
Oh, I remember when you said that to me,
Yeah,
Cutlet.
it's actually really hard when I sit on it. Wow. And only just wide enough for 2 gentlemen to sit side by side, really.
I wanted to sit by your side. Of course, an English gentlewoman would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up to the roof deck, so she would have to be seated in here.
A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they?
It's not my fault. Why are you looking at me like that?
The seat has a handle, it seems.
Open the drawer.
Hey.
What the fuck is in here?
Oh my god. What if the
detective's
murderer
in
was
here.
in here? What if the murderer was in here?
Uh-huh.
This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
It also looks like a trunk, so it seems like this is your area of expertise. Did you want to crawl in it?
It could have been sleeping inside of it.
Mm-hmm. Blankets, you know, wheels. There's things in here. There's a bunch of stuff. The storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems. Seems like you and Kazuma-sama would have found this would come in handy, huh?
Yeah, it's somewhere where they keep his boy toy. It doesn't seem to be any space for packagers to store their luggage, that's for sure.
You're the luggage.
Oh.
It wouldn't be very convenient for that purpose anyway. Really about, you know, a Naruhodo-san sized drawer.
Okay, well... That's appears to be all.
Leave?
Let us leave? Yeah.
Have you seen enough? Let's step back outside then.
Alright.
Just, you know, investigating the crime scene in the middle of the trial. Like
can I flip it over?
Yeah, flip it. Flip that shit. What?
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 What? What?
What? What?
Nani? What?
He's not even born yet.
What are they? And can you click it? You can't click it.
I cannot click it.
You can click it. No, you can't click
I can't click it.
What?
Incredible. Wow.
Well,
Nothing unusual here.
this is the roof deck of the Phoenix Wright omnibus. Yes, they really liked, you know, legends and... You must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here.
But people sit all the way up here in the bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them. And they have to pay money to do so?
Ugh, I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That just made me think of something horrible.
God,
Can you imagine being dragged around the city in freezing cold as a punishment?
Perhaps that is the real price you pay to stay out late. Does this say Phoenix Wright omnibus anywhere else?
I don't think so.
Wow, that was quite the Easter egg.
Yeah, it sure fucking was. What do you mean you can't find anything? It was just...
So Phoenix Wright he's descended from Naruhodo and someone in London who ran an omnibus company.
Right. You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly through this tiny window.
That's not good for us. Alright, I guess that's it. Goodbye, Phoenix Wright Omnibus.
Goodbye, Phoenix Wright Omnibus. We knew you well. Great Britain is simply extraordinary.
I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing that it's here. Let us continue with proceedings, then. Your cross-examination, counsel.
I don't expect this Nipponi stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights.
Alright. First cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Ryunosuke. Focus.
Whoa. That's a pretty boy.
Uh-huh.
Smacked himself into it.
He really looks like Apollo when they do that, like... Press. Press.
Kazuma.
Hold it!
Look at him with his Kazuma armband
Yeah.
and his sword.
Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, sir, that's right, sir. Yes, ever so cold it was, sir. Freezing, in fact.
And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct?
Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, sir, of course, no. I'm just freezing my ass off for some reason.
And there were no other passengers when the incident took place? No one alighted, for example?
Quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that, no, none.
Well, nobody fled the scene of the crime, then?
Have to say, the boss insists on it running. He does every evening, the last bus of the day. Well, but I do wonder sometimes if it's altogether worthwhile. Yes, it's hard to say.
What do you mean by that?
Well, what with it being so cold and everything, and only been making 20 pence on the run, see? Ha. I spend that much at the pub on the way home, just trying to warm up again.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Were they, though? And you saw them through the skylight in the roof of the carriage? That's right. When you sit up on the top deck, the window's right there at your feet. There was a lamp on the inside, so I had a pretty good view.
Oh.
The two of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. But there's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded. How can you be so sure? Well, how can I put it politely? Mr. McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else.
Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here.
Oh, I really wish there was. Then out of the blue, the accusers reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. Hold it?
Hold it.
Hold it!
You actually saw the exact moment it happened? Didn't I already testify to that? Or are fair dinkum hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days? Oh, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. I've really got to back this up. I've already got his backup. Got his backup? Got his what? I'm sorry? What are we backing? Oh, God.
My lord!
Hold on. Perhaps if you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail, if that's... My lord! Juror number 3, what is the meaning of this?
My mind is made up, my lord! Completely and utterly made up! Stabbity stab staboo time!
Made up about what?
I don't like the stinking rich, never have. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. Psh. And that little leprechaun of a man is no exception. Well, he can't fool me. Whoa. There's no point in wasting time listening to more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway. That is precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example to my fellow jurors.
Excuse me?
Wow. Holy crap.
What is happening here?
Okay, according to my diary, yes, it seems that that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts, with giant fireballs.
With fireballs?
I mean, you're wearing a sword, so apparently, yes, white for innocent and black for guilty. The 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case. One by one, they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. This is 100% historically accurate.
So, if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean...
They hang him immediately. Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen.
Oh, now I'm even more worried than I was before. Very well, the court acknowledges the change in the jury stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination. It's a nightmare.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it.
Hold it?
Hold it!
He stabbed him, you say, and you were still sitting up on the roof deck, were you?
Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing the little tent sitting next to the fellow that was stabbed. I've been thinking about a new app design, you see, so I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. And it was sticking right out from his belly. That huge, great knife, much like the sword that you have.
A grim sight indeed. That didn't help me at all. The jury look like they're even more convinced my client did it than they were before.
That appears to have made everyone pissed.
Yeah.
Even more dubious that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. Only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions. Evidence is everything. Mr. First. Yes, sir. Is this the knife you saw? Oh, good grief. Yes, that's it. Oh, the very one, sir.
Is that...
Yes, Counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart.
That is a blade of considerable size, Counsel. You have a very large blade there.
Quite a large blade. It is. I like large blades, and I cannot lie. Furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar, like Miles Edgeworth.
Please no.
M for Magnus, perhaps, or McGilded, possibly. Take your pick. He wrote M with his finger before he died. Seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake. Magnificent.
But there are M's everywhere. Yes, in Mason.
Whoa, that's a fancy objection. This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No! This weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused.
Ugh. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, Counsel. Okay. My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption. Juror number 2, go on. Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. Wait, what are you about to do? Dispose of the rubbish.
Jeez. That's ridiculous.
Oof. No! I don't wish to cause offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime.
I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. What is even going on here?
We're losing, I guess?
Is this just gonna...
Not again.
That's 4 out of 6 jury members who proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left.
We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse.
God, this feels like social media.
This fucking sucks. I hate this.
Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark.
Suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly.
Mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that'll give us a way to fight back.
But... Alright, I'll keep trying. Can't give up.
Cosmo wouldn't want me to give up.
Just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. Alright, well, let's see... There's the M.
Could be a W.
Could be a W. An ornate letter N. M. Undeniably Mr. Magnus McGilded's initial.
You could turn it upside down, though. It's beautifully gilded. It must be very valuable. What is it?
Look at this M. If you turn it upside down, it becomes a W.
Oh, really? If you do that, if you turn it upside down, where did you get that brilliant idea?
This could change everything.
A W?
Yes, this is one of those, turnabout cases. I'm sure of it.
Oh my god, yep.
I'm sure I could gottend this Saibon.
It's great. I'm afraid I don't know it all. But what I'm sure of is that this is an M, but it's also a W.
Oh, well, that idea was quickly quashed. Seriously? Why?
What is a W?
Why is it quashed?
That part is the sheath, isn't it?
I know what a sheath looks like.
Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo?
Oh, sorry. Yes, I just don't really like blades.
Oh, too soon? Those don't seem like the words of a man with a large katana slung from his waist.
I'm sorry. Don't talk about my... I mean, oh, you're talking about oh, never mind. Never mind. I thought we had to have the underage talk again.
Not this time.
That's not a blade, that's Kazuma's soul. Anyway, there's no sense in delaying it. It looks like, let's see what the blade looks like.
I'm just gonna
Holy
casually...
fuck.
Whoa, okay.
Okay, it's very fancy, but that's blood. Or is it wine? That looks a lot like blood.
Surely is blood. The victims.
An Englishman's blood looks a lot like Japanese man's blood.
Wow, you're so observant.
Oh,
You're just
wow, such
really...
a smart man.
Did you think it wouldn't?
Sorry, it's just that we've only just arrived here in Great Britain. I'm finding it a little hard to adjust.
I understand. But,
You're such
we're
a
all human beings.
Fucking idiot. Anything in here?
I love how he was just like, it's Kazuma's soul. Anyway.
Yeah, it's Kazuma's soul.
Also, I like how his armband doesn't quite fit him.
Yeah, it's a little like it keeps sliding down. If you notice in some of his animations. The thing is, it looks way better as a W.
Yeah, it does.
Anyway. Okay. What?
Oh.
All right. So when it happened, the only two people were in the area were. What happened? What did I do?
What did you do?
I don't know. The only two people in the enclosed cabin were the victim and the defendant. And so help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed.
I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here.
What am I supposed to think here? Mr. McGill is really innocent? Or could it be?
Before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witness statements again a little more carefully
Really?
this time.
Boy.
Why?
They were next to each other, okay. You just reached over and...
Oh, okay, okay. Let's...
And he saw it. How would he see if he's driving the bus?
What exactly did you see?
Well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Collapsed on the floor, he was. And by the passenger, obviously, you're referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker. And then the other passenger had that knife in his hand, like this. Knife in his hand. By the other passenger, obviously you're referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilden.
Sorry, when I can't hear you very well, I just assume that the mic also can't hear you very well.
And then he plunged it down like this. This is stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
Okay. What? My lord, I wish to speak.
He's been drinking this whole trial.
Yes, juror number 5. I take it that you too, as the master of the London Guild of Coachmen.
Oh, I get why
the
he's got
idea of murder being committed in one of the city's carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. It wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I said to myself. But who gives a fuck? Ha 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 ha! But I've heard enough now. The horse is bolted, as they say. No, please, just keep an open mind for a little longer. Gee up now, Silver Blaze. The finish is in sight.
Ridiculous.
God, alright. Pep was a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says.
Oh, thank you, sir. You're too kind.
This is too unkind, sir.
Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Comes down to Granny. I shall gaily gesture to Madam Juror number 6. Best
dear. What can I do for you? You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand. Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know. Then, pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning? Well, dear, in my day, they didn't call it a leaning. Thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to the park at around this time of day, sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. There's a lovely little park just near where I live. McGilded Park, it's called.
Exclamation mark.
A gentleman donated to the city, you know, to put a smile on Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life. Not. No.
He's always doing wonderful things for the city. That's right, the men wouldn't stop so much, surely. Well, then maybe going to begin.
How many Londoners live with their heads in the clouds? 2 people not know. How gay I am! What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is!
What kind of a man is he?
Philanthropist Magnus McGilded has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly, and yet he never gave me a present on Christmas. Where did all that wealth come from? He stole it from the carriage drivers. Reclined as a Shylock, sir. Okay, and one with the very darkest of souls.
What?
Were we really going there? Stolen the crows. McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak. Okay, so it's Socialist Miles. I've never heard any mention of that before. Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own?
Exclamation mark.
What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service other than to murder this Mason?
You're not saying that...
Yes, the victim. Poor brickmaker had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts.
Good gracious.
Tax the rich. Eat them while you're at it. The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him. His life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded. I'm going to go storm the barricades.
I don't believe it.
If I might add something briefly.
Mrs. Sato.
You claim that the victim had been lent money by Mr. McGilded. But where's the evidence to support your claim? I see you've heard about evidence.
Oh.
Wow. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice in a court of law.
Aha! There it is, the Lord Van Steeg's hollowed chalice. How could this be considered acceptable?
You've got a sword, I've got a drink. Find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I'd heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to see an actual woman in court.
Right.
Speaking
I
with
heard
her mouth.
women are illegal in Japan.
As judicial assistant to the defense, I'm simply smarter than him.
What?
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. And this is a glass of wine for you, my dear.
Right. Oh.
Oh, for me?
She's a minor.
Then
It's
for
like,
you.
and I'm gay.
So, nothing untoward.
Yes.
You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside. Oh, okay. Allow me to present this ledger as evidence.
Why did you not do that before?
And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. A toast to you fools, you foolish fools.
A marvelous toast, Council. I will gladly accept this new evidence. Oh, 20 guineas. That's
20 guineas. That's
Okay.
a lot of guineas.
Yes, 20 guineas. The victim owed a considerable sum.
And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense.
Open. Portfolio must contain all sorts of secrets of London's gentry.
Oh dear, do you really think we ought to look inside? Let's look inside.
Well, it's not as though we know any of London's gentry personally, do we? Or from our great detective friend, perhaps.
Wonder if he's in here.
Actually, I wonder.
I assure you we will not find Mr. Sholmes' name inside.
Well, let's see what we find.
It's Mr. Sholmes.
Sherlock Holmes. Okay, we can't read this.
Cool, it's all... Oh boy, it's crammed full of gentlemen's names, isn't it?
Well, I suppose they're probably not all gentlemen at all, are they? After all, not everyone in this country is well off.
Oh goodness,
What is it?
look at this. Do you see the name here?
Bruce Fairplay.
Oh.
Ooh!
Oh ho ho.
Should that mean something to me? It does sound strangely familiar, actually.
Yeah, should that mean something to you? Like the witness testifying at this very moment.
Oh, yes, of course, the banker. Why is his name in here? Ah, he borrowed 20 guineas, did he? Ooh.
Damn.
And look, the repayment date is fast approaching.
Ah. Okay, cool. So he just wants to knock off Mr. McGilden.
Was this a fucking accident when he tried to, like, stab him from the roof, or...
Mhm.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh, I'm glad I looked at it.
Uh-huh.
Alright.
Oh. Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused. And it's such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel. Really?
No.
Still. Maybe it's all for the best.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's think about this a little more before...
I don't stand for nonsense!
Well, we lost.
Rip. Who's gonna come in and say, hold it?
That was it. The last juror's decision.
Hold it! Consulting my diary. According to this encyclopedia of British law, when all members of the jury have concluded the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended, and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Holy crap, that's fast!
The final verdict. It's over then.
Is there nothing we can do, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh! There's a footnote, though.
A footnote?
However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case.
Thank you. I'll be here all night. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision.
According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections?
Objection. Objection.
Shizato-san, just tell me one thing.
Objection. Make an objection. Object. You can object. What is it?
You were in the middle of saying something before. The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law, however, the defense... What did it say next?
May call on Kazuma-sama You can like get a lifeline. You get one phone call. Phones haven't. I don't know. Do we have phones yet? Maybe not. When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation examination of the jurors at this point. Ooh, we could throw out a juror. We got a biased juror.
A summation examination?
Objection!
Summation examination? From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Ah! Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure a mention. It's a relic, long forgotten and certainly no longer practiced.
Ruda, thank you for the 3 months. That's crazy. Thanks so much. No longer practiced, huh?
So you're out of luck.
Just because it's out of practice doesn't mean that it's...
But I bet it's still legal though.
He had to pull up the...
Oh, I missed it.
He had to pull it up.
I gotta watch better.
What even is it, Mrs. Sato?
You know, that feels like something he would ask a lot.
You're wonderful, Bruda. What is this so-called summation examination?
Okay, checking my diary again. Let me see what I've got here. All my notes on British law that I conveniently took before this trip. You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails. Fascinating, these Nipponese. All right, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury.
To do what exactly?
To step the fuck down if they've got a conflict of interest. Well, and also appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed.
Make them reverse their decisions? Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. That's definitely legal and something that should be allowed. But that procedure has become something of a formality with no practical benefit, really. It's rather fell out of use.
I wonder why. Because it was devoid of purpose.
Exclamation mark.
Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age. No, we don't want the hiccups now. Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked. You're suggesting? I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. It's still on the books, buddy. Exclamation mark. No! What do you think, Naruhodo-san?
Summation examination, our last possible option. Do we assert our right to carry it out or admit defeat? Assert our right, obviously. The defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried.
Well, then you should have fucking outlawed them. But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it would prove vital in this trial. The defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination.
Ugh. This is like one of those old-timey laws on the books that says you can only have 3 unmarried people in a house or something like that.
Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready?
I'm not, there's no mention of this in the letter I received, so, I've just been, busy.
All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they reached their decision.
What grounds?
You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believe the defendant to be guilty.
Don't justify? I never had to justify a single decision I've ever made in my life. You're putting us on the spot.
This is most irregular. No mention of, was made of this before.
I just want to stab. Ha ha ha. I don't hold with this. Just fine. Don't.
That seems to have thrown the jurors off.
Well, seems none of them actually had a real thought in their heads about why.
Alright then, the summation examination. A defense procedure, no practicing lawyer is attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been waiting for. To Gyakten this Saibon!
Gyakten!
So be it then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Mr. Magnus be guilted. Be guilted? Magnus be guilty! Magnus be guilty of this most serious crime.
Magnus be guilty! Judicial findings.
Yikes.
Okay. There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
I trust the driver. He has excellent memory, it seems. All passengers with fares totaling 20 pence.
It stuck the chap next to him just like this. I've got a knife and I like to stabby stab. I love it. I love seeing the stabby stabs. What is up with this guy? Just flinging a knife around. I've simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion.
You can trust with the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices above 4 pence in years.
The scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. It beggars belief.
On the floor?
What? On the floor?
I'm starting to wish I hadn't
On the
pushed for this
floor?
now. On the floor?
I guess I gotta go after Granny.
Alright, Granny.
These jurors, they're full of shit, aren't they? Did I say that out loud?
Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I have to throw everything I can at them. She picks up a rock off the floor.
Picks up the entire omnibus. Phew!
And use some very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Naruhodo-san.
What?
Gotta check my diary again. Okay. According to my diary, that's not quite how it works.
Oh? I thought I was gonna have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant.
Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says.
But then...
They've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched you become. Oh my god, this just sounds way too much like current life.
What on earth am I supposed to fucking do then?
Honestly, I've been asking that myself every goddamn day that I'm on Twitter. Oh dear, I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Naruhodo-san.
Right, I'm sorry. Do you have any idea how to make this work then?
Wish I did. Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your argument. Whoa.
What do you mean?
Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in the courtroom together.
And that's the way to break them down, you mean?
Can you go to the history? This is actually kind of interesting. Scroll up a little bit. Yeah. Using the jurors' own words to make your argument.
So I think I know, because like someone said that like they're like, okay, there was the 20 pence thing, and then the other guy said that they haven't raised their rates over 4 pence. So that doesn't add up.
Exactly.
If my math is right, which I'm pretty sure it is.
We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. If we can,
We then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other.
I see. So it's contradiction of what 2 or more jurors say that we're looking for.
Throw them into the mud.
In a way, then, this is similar to a regular cross-examination.
Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Except this one has more fighting.
Find contradictions in their statements and pit the juries against one another to break them down. All right, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off. And we start proceedings, counsel. I would ask you to take the stand for this. I am expecting a clear and concise rebuttal. Yes, my lord. Oh.
Wow, hi. Hello.
Standing tall and proud, hand on sword.
That's he's got his hand on Cosmo's soul right there.
Yeah, holding his soul.
Holding by his soul.
Okay. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence.
Hit.
And then he says 4 pence in years. So I want to pit you.
4 with fares totaling 20 pence, so then it's 5 pence.
I want to pit you against this guy.
I see. Oh.
Objection.
Those 2 statements can clearly contradict each other. They do? Explain yourself, counsel. Me? Oh dear, what have I said? I swear on Silverblaze's maiden name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about. According to the group testimony we've heard so far, this is way differently animated than everything else we've seen so far.
Wow.
Incredible. There were 4 passengers on the omnibus the night in question.
Oh.
And according to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 20 pence in fares.
Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me.
And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence. That it is a fair and convenient single price, just the way London carriages should be operated. But that doesn't add up at all. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts. Why, man? Why? 4 passengers paying 4 pence each. If you do the multiplication...
They did the monster math.
It would be 16 pence. Exactly. As I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different.
Look at my little cutlet doing math.
Yeah, I've done math for the first time in my life. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare. Oh my god, look at this.
Hi, hello.
That's a confident, confident Ryukun. Look at him. 1 person's fare. Yes, in other words, the omnibus that night. It's distinctly possible. There was another passenger we had heard nothing about. Good gracious.
Ooh. Hi.
This can't be right. The coachmen of the guild are good, honest men, one and all. Trustworthiness is our watchword.
Figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, good sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon. Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride in his omnibus. Alright, then how do I make it so this miserable trial doesn't end,
Well... According to my book... Gotta just say that. You simply launch a ball of fire into the innocent side of the set of the scales.
Hold your horses there, coachman. We're all in agreement. Why'd you have to go and...
Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo!
Whoa.
Yay!
This is all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir, I'm going to do the same.
For the love of Mike. Not you as well.
Who's Mike?
Mike's my husband.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put truth in some my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really? So,
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again.
Hey, we did it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cosmo-san would be proud. We can manage to change 2 more jurors' minds. We can force the trial to continue.
2 more, actually. There is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions.
And that's where you must strike next.
We need to pit 2 more jurors against each other to show where there's contradiction in their assertions.
Exactly. You can do it.
I know where this is. Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue with your summation examination. Your Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah. Knifey, stabby, stab.
Stabby, and then you talk to this lady.
Objection!
The 2 statements are completely contradictory. What? Explain, counsel, post haste.
Oh, dear me. I was only missing a jumper for my other half. What's all this claptrap? What does contradictory even mean, now I ask you?
We've heard from more than one witness. They've allegedly saw the actual moment when he stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3.
What? Can't you see I'm busy here?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it?
It was a stabby. Huh, want to test me, do ya? Haha. As like this! Stuck the fella next to him without even getting up, just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony. Quite true. Now then, juror number 6.
Oh, is that me? Is it? What can I do for, young man? Would you like a mitten?
How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam?
Perhaps another jumper then. Well, dear, as far as I understand it, it's like this! Through the heart! He stabbed the poor man after he collapsed on the floor. The coachman said so.
Now don't move.
Oh.
Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor. Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What? That's my stitches. What a muddle.
What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility that one of these witnesses isn't telling the truth.
Oh. What's her then?
I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen, all in good conscience?
Lies, you say? Oh, dear me. Can't buy people telling lies.
Oh, hell yeah.
Booyah.
The scales. I don't believe it.
Get it, boy. Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him in his black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all.
If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me this, Dark Jinx.
Huh? Me?
What exactly is the problem? What of it if 2 witnesses have slightly different recollections of events?
What of it?
Let's say Shylock did stab the victim as he was sat next to him in the omnibus. This young dandy saw him do it. Now, let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, then the Shylock stabbed him again.
That's not how it went.
This old lady saw him do it.
I knew this would be significant.
Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that,
The fucking autopsy report.
Who you calling a dandy, sir? Why I should take this knife to you?
Why are you threatening that?
Who you calling cold? Why I should take this needle to you? I will stab a bitch.
They really are ready to kill each other now.
Oh,
Yeah, you had to
I
lift
looked
it.
down for the briefest of moments.
Could the foreman of the jury be right?
But I did see him go tuck.
Mm-hmm. Did the witnesses see two different moments of the same crime? It's out of the question!
Objection.
Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman...
What is it, you doctors? Come on out with it.
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question.
What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize that I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So, where's your evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say, the two witnesses saw two different moments of the same crime. If you say that's out of the question, show me some proof.
Looks like the only way I'm gonna convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable, hard evidence.
Present that hard evidence, Cutlet.
As you wish, Kazuma-san.
Yes.
I'll give you the proof.
Give it to me.
It's out of the question that these two witnesses saw different moments of the same crime, as proven by my arm badge. I'm a lawyer.
That's my dear king.
Take that!
This is the victim's autopsy report. Why did they put so many pages in it? According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen. Only once.
Only once.
Only once! It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time.
Only once.
And once means one time! Which means his witnesses couldn't possibly have seen it happen two different times.
All right. I can see defeat. Bam.
Hell yeah! Wait, that means... Four jurors are now leading toward not guilty.
We did it, Nanahoda-san. We've won!
Oh, she's so cute!
Oh god, she's really actually becoming adorable.
I
in this.
honestly, like, she's... If someone had to replace Maya, like, I'm glad it's her.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
What? What are you playing at, you dandy fool? Shut your trap, sir! No one deceives me, I'll stab him. We had a consensus. I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. If the chap ever dares to cross the threshold of my shop, I'll take this razor
Oh
sharp
my
blade.
god, that's... oh my...
I'm gonna do something with this blade.
oh lord.
What I'm gonna do with this blade.
Let's, please tell me he's a barber. I need to learn that technique.
Mm-hmm.
Well, quite a remarkable turn of events. It's been a long time since I've seen any technique like that. The defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. Jurors now stand 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there is no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue.
Look at him.
I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witness to return to their places. I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
Ooh.
The truth.
The truth.
So, Lord Van Zeeks, continue to substantiate the case for the prosecution, if you please.
Going to need to drink more.
Right, it's like I need a fucking drink for this.
Wine? Anyone? Anyone but me? Am I drinking this whole bottle by myself again? Very well.
Holy sh!
No one gets to drink! Having savored the rich aroma of the carmine contents of this hallowed chalice. It may seem crass to crush it to dust. Pray forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeks! The cold in here, is it just me?
Is it hot in here, or is it just you?
Excuse me?
As your antiquated tone no doubt says, the prosecution may not speak during a summation examination. It's totes unfair. So I honored a deathly silence and listened to the charade.
Why does the judge allow cosplay in court? The same reason that they allow 2 swords and a knife in court. In this specific court, there are 2 swords and a knife.
Wow. Lick that knife.
I mean, not even counting the one that's submitted as evidence.
Seems I overestimated the intelligence of the jury.
Ouch.
Well, no matter. There's nothing so hard to prove as a self-evident truth, it would seem. No, and why else would we grace the courtroom with our presence after all? So, let us be war between us. Let us proceed to the next round of battle.
Oh!
Whoa! Bring forth the witnesses once more!
Sure thing, Dracula. Oh, the cape is off.
Hi. Hello. Goddamn.
Hello.
They all have to look
If
away.
Ryukun was not homosexual before this, he definitely is now.
Witnesses, are you gay for me yet? Trust you heard the summation examination we have just had to endure. Oh, sir, I turned gay. I missed it.
Of course I heard it.
Oh yes, sir. I heard it.
You, sir, are the end, the coachman. I believe it's Beppo.
Oh dear. Yes, sir. My lord, sir.
If it transpires in your previous testimony, you were attempting to veil the presence of a 5th passenger on your omnibus, you will be found guilty of perjury. You are advised to bear that in mind, sir. That's
Perjury.
the 3rd time that they've ever mentioned perjury.
Drink once for perjury.
Ooh, yeah, let's drink to perjury. Let's spill my own drink on myself for perjury.
Oh, mio dio. I guess I was supposed to be Italian this whole time.
3 times in the series so far. Progress, exactly.
Cheers.
Now then, witness, I hereby call on you to testify before the court again. You will explain the various misgivings brought to our attention by the defense's summation examination.
I only carried 4 passengers that night, I swear it. But.
Well, I, for one, was told I had to pay 5 pence for the bus. What the fuck?
He fiddled us on the fare, he did. I thought fiddling was legal. Then I saw that blood-curdling sight as well. It's all too much.
I tell you, I saw Mr. McGilden stabbing that man. Everything I said before still stands.
Oh, yes, he stabbed to him. Yes, he did. I think so, yes.
What do you mean you think so? What do you mean you think so? This is a murder trial! What do you mean you think so?
I think he stabbed him.
Counsel, make sense of this for me, please.
No. The phantom 5th passenger conjured into existence by my learned Eastern friend never existed.
Why is it always phantoms in my trials?
The confusion has arisen from the coachman's sly little cousinage. What the fuck is cousinage?
Beppo, explain yourself!
I'm terribly sorry, Guildmaster. I'm looking up a cousinage.
The guild's fare is 4 pence across the board, you know that.
The practice of deception, trickery, stories of cousinage and disguise.
Wow. Am I to understand you've been overcharging your passengers by a penny a fare?
It's so cold, and the last run of the day is always a half empty.
You have been dishonest, coachman.
I'm so sorry.
You're a disgrace, Beppo, a disgrace!
It's beat on the
Your selfish actions have brought dishonor on the guild.
I may, sir. I had to pay 10 pence on the bus just last week.
What?
4 passengers at 5 pence each is 20 pence. I can do math. Done the arithmetic 10 times already, but I just can't make the result come out differently. Just somehow it just keeps adding up.
No, that figures. Well, it would appear that one of the aforementioned misgivings has already been explained. So, counsel for the defense, if your cross-examination, if you please.
We've already had the pleasure of a protracted summation examination today. I see you intend to continue the parlor games. Well, two can play those parlor games.
Absolutely! I would love to continue my parlor games, sir! Okay, he stabs him, I think so. I need you to not say I think so. This is a murder trial. Earlier you testified that you saw the moment when the defendant allegedly stabbed the victim, didn't you?
Oh, yes, I guess that's right.
You said that the victim was on the floor and described the assailant holding a knife in an ice pick grip.
Did I say that? I suppose, might have, yes, I put the cart before the horse, maybe.
What's this?
Well, I'm quite sure about most of it. I was driving the horses when I heard the scream from the seats on the roof. Oh, I expect that was me, sir. And when I turned around, yes, I saw it. The skylight. The gentleman was on the floor, and the knife was sticking out of his midriff. That's right, then the fellow holding the handle was the famous man, yes, sir.
So, in short, you didn't see the moment when the victim was actually stabbed at all?
I didn't see anything at all. I've just been wasting your time. I thought I did, but when I could go over it again in my head. No, I suppose I didn't actually see the price. I didn't see nothing.
Oh,
what the?
Sir?
He's losing his shit.
Hello? Are you okay? Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Fairplay? Now you listen to me. I know what you're thinking. He didn't really see the exact moment the fellow was stabbed. What are the chances of that? Eh? What are you asking me or telling me? Getting flustered. I might be able to extract some new information about him if I answer him cleverly. Could he have just happened to see the exact moment the crime was committed? It'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that sometimes.
Wow. Fucking love it.
No chance. No chance?
Some days are like that.
No. Well, it is a little hard to believe, certainly. Unless you spend your time peeping through a skylight on top of an omnibus, that is. Peeping? I'm a respectable city banker, I'll have you know, and I know what I saw. I remember it as clear as a Ballarat day. It was a grim scene, I don't mind telling you. Thank you, Mr. Fairplay. I need to come up with... Oh, excuse me if I was a little hot on the collar there, my lord. I would ask you to supplement your testimony with a clear statement about exactly what you saw. Oh, I can do that all right. I'll tell you just how grim it was.
Ballarat is apparently, it means very cold.
Ah, I see. Blood-soaked hands after the butcher stabbed the man. Excuse you?
Not hands.
Okay, well, first of all, I want to see if... I want to see if I can just straight up present the gloves. Present the gloves.
Objection!
Blood-soaked hands? Well, admit that soaked might be laying it on a little thick, but anyway, there was definitely blood all over them. Both of them were covered in it. Well,
Whoa.
I'm very sorry to disagree, Mr. Fairplay, but that's more than a little peculiar.
Look at hello. We know where he got that from.
It's more than a little peculiar because he doesn't have any hands. Wait, I mean, these are his hands. Wait.
I mean, I'd like to get some hands all over me.
What? Kazuma? What? What the fuck is going on here?
What is he doing with that sword?
Here are the gloves worn by the defendant, Mr. McGilded, on the night of question. Oh, yes, right. And there certainly does appear to be a sizable dark-colored stain there. But as I'm sure you can clearly see, these aren't hands. It's only on the right-hand glove. What are you doing? What are you doing? That's not how you, in short, Mr. Fairplay. Your testimony is inconsistent. Yeah, but no, that can't be right.
So you're the liar here then, huh? I'll kill you. You're quite clear about it. You said, yeah, it's in both hands. I'm gonna stab you to death.
Mr. Fairplay, if your last statement was a lie, it calls your testimony into question. You say you saw the moment the victim was stabbed, but is that really the truth?
Objection!
It was a simple mistake. I can't justify accusing this man of lying. Yes, it wasn't both hands, it was only one. The fact remains. The victim's blood was on the accursed. Look at that. Look at that. What the fuck?
Yeah, he just cannot resist gaily pointing.
Mm-hmm.
Objection!
No, Mr. Fairplay categorically stated that he saw blood all over both hands. Which means there's a strong possibility that this witness was deliberately trying to mislead the court. Why? I'm a city banker, for pity's sake. My word should be the gold standard. Well, then make it the gold standard, you dumbass. I'm a gentleman, not some gutter snipe on just upstanding members of society. Don't prevaricate. He's claiming to have no reason to lie. But is that really the case?
Naruhodo-san. If we had some evidence to explain why Mr. Fairplay might be lying, it could turn the tide in this trial completely.
Are you saying you could gyakten?
We could gyakten.
And to show this man has a compelling reason to lie in his testimony. I have evidence!
There's no evidence at all. None.
My lord. Yes, counsel? The defense is ready to present evidence. By Jove, are you sure? Yes, evidence that will clearly demonstrate why Mr. Fairplay had a reason to lie in his testimony. Ah! Very well. I hereby call upon the defense to present its evidence. The evidence that demonstrates a motive for the witness's alleged deception of the court. Boo.
Take that.
This is a list of the debtors that owe money to Mr. McGilded.
Yes, list of innocent victims crippled by the accused's extortion.
The point is, among the names of the debtors is your name, Mr. Bruce Fairplay. What? Mr. Fairplay, are you currently indebted to indebted financially to the accused? No, oh, well, it's barely worth being called a debt. According to... Ooh, this is a good sprite.
Hello.
According to this ledger, you owe 20 guineas.
That's
Not an inconsiderable sum of money, wouldn't you say?
He's a confident boy.
Yeah, that tap. Well, what of it? Let's suppose Mr. McGilded were to be found guilty of murder. What would become of your debt in that case? These documents state that the loan agreement is forged between two individual parties. Therefore, were the creditor the defendant here to be sentenced to capital punishment, all outstanding debts that were owed to him would be annulled. They would cease to exist.
Cease to exist?
Mr. Fairplay? Is it not the case that you claimed in your testimony to have seen something you never, in fact, saw? In a devious attempt to annul your debt of 20 guineas to the defendant. What a bitch. Order, Mr. Bruce Fairplay. Yes, my lord. Let me ask you again, and be aware that your answer may have most serious implications upon you in your future, sir. Did you or did you not see the precise moment in time in which the defendant is alleged to have thrust a knife into the victim? Your silence speaks volumes. You did not tell the truth in your testimony. All right, let's not make melodrama out of this. Perhaps I did overstate the truth a pinch. A pinch? But it makes no difference. I definitely remember seeing blood on Mr. McGilded's hands. Both of them.
Objection!
And yet, only one of the defendant's gloves, which we have here as evidence, is stained. So you keep saying...
I wonder if I might be allowed to speak, sir.
Fuck off! Go ahead, Mr. First.
Or I could just fuck off. The thing is, I think I remember seeing it myself as it happens.
Seeing what?
The blood, sir, on the assailant's hands. I think, yes, I'm almost sure that it was on both of his hands, not just the one.
What? What?
He's collapsed.
It would appear that we're going to need further testimony from all you witnesses. This time, I would like to know exactly what you did and did not see. I make myself perfectly clear. Yes.
Manodo-san, this is good news. Of course, the trial seems to have shifted slightly at last.
Yes! I might finally have a chance to turn things around here. I might have a chance to Gyakten the Saibon.
Gyakten the Saibon.
There was blood on both hands of the assailant. I sincerely and distinctly remember that. However, I suppose you might say that I didn't see the exact moment of the stabbing transpired, if that matters. It does, in fact, matter!
It does, in fact, matter.
I believe you will find that it does, in fact, matter.
Matters. I remember seeing the knife, and I remember seeing both of the attacker's hands with blood on them. I didn't actually see anything myself, and no, not until I heard that scream.
Anyway, the fact remains, there can't have been anyone else inside that carriage, or we all would have seen. Well, lo and behold. In truth of fact, not one of you was a witness to the actual crucial moment the crime was perpetrated. I apologize, my lord, but honestly, there was no one else inside that carriage, and the man's head were covered in blood. That much incriminating evidence is tantamount to saying we saw the man do it, but that doesn't actually mean. That's really not what testimony is about. That's not it at all.
I like that. He knows better than they do.
Right.
Let us examine the interior of the omnibus once more. The victim's fresh blood is clearly visible on the seat, corroborating the witnesses' accounts.
Except for the one's account.
In other words, there is no substantial nor significant change in the facts of the case.
Very well. Your cross-examination, please, counsel. Yes, my lord. Do you distinctly remember that?
Hold it!
No, the evidence tells us otherwise. We have the gloves the defendant was wearing on the night in question in the court record. I'm well aware of that, sir, but nevertheless, I know what I saw and I stand by it. The man had blood on both of his hands. He's defiant, even in the face of hard evidence. He's steadfastly refusing to admit that he might be mistaken about what he saw, but why?
Your reasoning is dire.
Exclamation mark?
One hand or two, the salient point remains unchanged.
I don't think it does.
Minutes after the grim crime, the victim's blood dripped guiltily from the accused's fingers.
However, I suppose we might say that I didn't see the exact moment the stabbing transpired, if it matters. It does matter!
It matters.
Don't try to downplay this! This is a fucking murder trial! What are you doing? Whether or not you saw the exact moment of the crime is a matter of fundamental importance, as you well know. But,
Seriously.
for crying out loud, we all know that no one else could have possibly done it. I was just trying to save us all some time. You have a loan of 20 guineas outstanding with the defendant, do you not? Had you hoped to release yourself from that financial burden by ensuring the defendant was found guilty? Not entirely, not what I was hoping for. I just lost a little guinea or 10 when I backed the wrong horse in the Derby, that's all. I was gonna win it all back. There's a fixture this weekend that's a sure thing. A little guinea or 10. I'm a banker, no one bats an eye if I borrow a little spending money for the weekend.
Wow.
Oh my god. Same, Judge, same. I think you may have revealed rather more about your character than you bargained for, sir.
This witness's scruples are not on trial here.
They should be.
Proceed to the next witness.
Is that really how it's supposed to work?
I remember seeing the knife, and I remember...
Bitch! You definitely saw that too? Blood on both hands?
Yes, sir. I mean, I know what you're going to say. Only one of Mr. McGilded's gloves has any sign of blood on it.
That's right.
The thing is, as far as I remember, sir, when I looked down and saw Mr. McGilded sitting beside the other fellow, I don't believe he was wearing any gloves, sir.
He wasn't wearing these gloves?
That's correct, sir, and I saw the blood on both his bare hands quite clearly.
It's true that the dark-colored stain on the dark leather gloves wouldn't have been easy to see. Can we look at the inside of the gloves, please?
I should point out that the police officer who apprehended the accused on the night in question reported that there was no trace of blood on Mr. McGilded's gloved hands. Eh?
There wasn't blood
What?
on his hands?
Eh? Like, there wasn't blood on his actual hands.
On his physical hands, yeah. This is puzzling indeed. It must be significant somehow, I'm sure of it.
I didn't actually see anything myself, no, not until I heard of that scream.
Okay. You didn't see anything?
No, I didn't. No. Very sorry about what I said before, sir. Very sorry, yes, sir. It was very wrong of me to make up stories and to say I saw him start to stab at a man. Wouldn't you agree, sir?
I know what you're insinuating, but I certainly wasn't making up stories. Still, to say you saw nothing isn't right either, is it?
No, sir, I saw nothing at all.
Mr. Beppo, you were driving your horses. At the very least, you must have enjoyed a good view of London streets, no?
Hey!
Aww. Very Phoenix Wright.
Oh,
I saw it slip.
please. You didn't even see that?
It was so cold that night, you see, and it was all I could do to keep from Papa passing out, sir. My head was fairly frozen solid, so sorry to say, sir.
It would seem prudent to avoid travel on the last omnibus service of London's cold winter nights.
Beppo!
Ah!
Go fuck yourself. And everything you saw of the incident was through the skylight on the roof of the omnibus. That's right, it was fiercely cold that night, but the glass wasn't frosted over.
Oh yes, I remember. I was shivering. It was so bitter.
Which rather begs the question of why the pair of you were sitting in the roof deck in the first place. Well, I don't know about this young fellow, but I couldn't enter the cabin. Oh, why not? It was locked from the inside. I tried knocking, but no one opened the door.
Locked from the
No one
inside.
opened the door?
It was another locked from the inside.
It was locked. That's right, it's a public bus service for pity's sake, not what I call fair play.
I had exactly the same experience. I tried knocking, but the gent inside just gestured at me to clear off. So I had no choice but to climb up to the roof deck and down longingly into the warm cabin below.
Well, I can assure you I wasn't just looking down, I was glaring long and hard. That's precisely why I can tell you with absolute confidence that if there was anyone else at all in that cabin, I would have noticed.
Unequivocal, I would say.
I'm not sure about these two witnesses. Can they really have seen everything inside the cabin through the sky? No, I didn't mean to do that. I suppose I would have had a bird's eye view from the roof, and birds generally have very keen eyesight, so...
Dear Ken.
Thank you, that's all clear. What you said does make sense.
Use those brain cells, dear Ken.
Very good. Continue the cross-examination. God damn it.
Oh, well, you really botched that one, buddy.
Yeah, I sure did. Yeah. Yeah, what do you mean? I don't even care what they said. We'll see. Okay. Oops. No! I didn't mean to do that. No. Oh, I'm so bad. Burp, bub. Okay, y'all would have seen. Blah blah blah. Yeah, this is frosted over. Oh, why not? It was locked. Oh, God. Okay, I have to be very careful. They might not have been able to, is what I meant to press. Allow me to confirm one thing, Mr. Fairplay. You were riding this omnibus.
The Phoenix Wright omnibus.
The Phoenix Wright omnibus, and witnessed the events in the cabin through the skylight in the floor of the upper deck, is that right? That's right, yes. Phoenix Wright, in fact. In that case, there is a portion of the cabin interior that would have been out of sight from you. What? My golly, really? No, this is you.
Really?
Obviously, at this stage, we can't say for sure, but the possibility cannot be denied that at the time of the incident, there could have been another passenger, hello, reading, another passenger enclosed in the cabin of the omnibus.
Objection!
Enough hypothetical meandering, my Nipponese friend. The prosecution demands that you substantiate your claims.
We're friends?
After all, the scene of the crime is here in the flesh.
It looks like wood to me. Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's demand. You will identify on this cross-sectional plan of the omnibus. Where exactly in the omnibus are you suggesting that the potential extra passenger could have been situated? Like, over here? Probably?
Sure.
Because it's like they're up here and they probably
They can
like
see
saw
down
through
there,
and they probably
so
can't
it's
see
right
here.
there.
Take that!
Both rows of seats on the roof face the direction of travel. Whereas the seats enclosed in the cabin face each other. Which means the visible part of the cabin, which the passengers on the roof deck can see through the skylight, is as I've drawn here.
You've gotten really smart in the past 2 months, babe.
Cosmo? Ah! That's right, my lord. As you can see, the seat opposite the one the victim and the attacker was sitting is obscured from view. In other words, if someone had been sitting on that seat, it's quite possible that these witnesses would have been completely unaware of it. Ah!
Objection!
It's quite possible some phantom was sitting there. You Nipponese have a forbidding habit of obscuring the truth with ambiguity.
Exclamation mark? I concur with the prosecution's rejoinder. In the British court of law, evidence is paramount. I cannot entertain this conjecture, counsel. That is, unless you're able to put a name to this mysterious passengers to which you allude.
Can you not hold us that?
What? I honestly don't know. Who could it have been? Who could have been in the other seat, which has been out of sight of the witness's roof on the deck? I legitimately have no motherfucking clue.
See, who's actually in the court record as people?
It's a good question. People? Okay,
Check out
Susato.
these.
Male Strongheart.
52. He's actually an old guy.
He's actually
very old for this game.
Yeah.
May as well be one foot in the grave.
Wealthy philanthropist.
Mm-hmm. How old?
Okay. Hello.
Hey, whoa.
He's 32.
32?
Look at you, a properly
Look at
like
that. Whoa,
man.
whoa. Okay.
that means the
guy.
brickmaker. There's Beppo.
Mm-hmm.
There's this guy.
This dude. This is dumb.
Yeah, so basically it's like, do we accuse this guy?
Oh boy. Who do we think would have been sitting there?
I legitimately have no idea, so I'm gonna say I have no fucking clue.
No idea.
I have literally no idea.
As a proud citizen of the Japanese Empire, you will look to the sky and walk on, making sure all signs of tears are gone. I read that in a poem once. Go on!
This isn't just a case of going on, Miss Susato. Susato-san. Alright then, I'll go on. The defense would like to put forward a name.
I'll drink to that. You are a fool, a foolish fool. Our response was a desperate attempt by a man who has no notion of his own limitations. A toast to hard lessons not yet learned.
Oh my god. Let us not delay, counsel. The defense still has to name the passenger in the other seat. Alright, bitch. This could be it. This could be the chance I've been waiting for to turn the trial in my favor. On the night of the murder, the person occupying the seat in the omnibus cabin that was obscure from view was Susato-san.
Susato!
Beppo.
Maybe it was Magnus, because the idea is that like the guy next to the guy
The
stabbed
guy
him.
next to him
So
was
if Magnus was across from
the
them,
actual murderer.
yeah, the one that they saw through the skylight.
Yeah, because I think Magnus said himself that he was sitting opposite of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just passed out. What the fuck did he know?
Right.
Those guys could see down through the skylight. And so when they saw a stabbity stab happen, well, if Magnus wasn't sitting there, then one could conclude that he did not do the stabbity.
Take that!
The passenger in the enclosed cabin that the eyewitness on the roof deck failed to see has to have been Mr. Magnus Begilded.
Mr. McGilton?
What are you talking about, Counsel? What's the name of the defendant?
Objection!
Damn! If I desecrate this chamber by smashing my hallowed chalice, do forgive the discourtesy.
Lord Van Zeeg!
You keep smashing your
What
hallowed chalice.
was that?
People talk of those tiny island nations in the Far East as having a learning and culture of their own. Jesus Christ, I'm such a supremacist.
My dude, you also live on an island.
But I see they use the terms ill-advisedly.
What are you trying to say?
Let me explain in terms that even a student of an artless backwater such as yourself might understand.
What the fuck?
Jesus. They're just ramping up the racism here. When the bloody scene unfolded, the victim and his assailant were sitting side by side. Multiple witnesses have attested to the fact. The very premise on which this case is built.
Objection!
But that premise may be wrong.
Dare you? What?
If the victim really was sitting beside Mr. McGilded, it creates an inconsistency that can't be reconciled in any way. What inconsistency, Counsel? The defendant's gloves, my lord.
Exclamation mark.
Both witnesses made the same testimony. They claimed that there was blood on both hands of the person sitting next to the victim.
Objection!
Yet we know the truth to be otherwise. Only one glove bears the gory remains.
Objection!
The point is, even in the face of this irrefutable evidence, both witnesses have maintained their stance. Yes, their testimony remains unchanged. Exactly, they both adamantly swear that they clearly remember seeing blood on both hands of the assailant. In short, their memory of events is correct, and their testimony reveals the truth. Exclamation mark. It was somebody else sitting beside the victim last night, a third party we have yet to identify. And the victim's blood was on that passenger's hands, both of them.
Objection!
And who was this third party?
I don't fucking know! Obviously, the true culprit!
Dun dun dun!
Extraordinary! Is it? Order, order, order! What exactly are you postulating?
Objection!
Defense's postulation is just that, nothing more than conjecture. The witnesses have clearly stated that they saw the accused.
Objection!
But when elaborating on his testimony, Mr. Fairplay said the two of them were wearing hats and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. Yes. Tops of their heads were obscured by the roof. I couldn't see the rest of them, though.
Yes, that's right. Both gents were most certainly hatted. Hatters do tend to notice such things, sir.
What particular style's hats of the two, did the two gentlemen sport, Mr. First?
Oh, the most trendy. The most hip and with it. I'm afraid I don't remember.
And you call yourself a hatter?
Well, he's certainly mad as one. Style of hat makes no difference. There is no third passenger in that cabin.
How can you be so sure?
Because it was locked from the inside, you dingwit. If there had been, the accused Mr. McGilded would undoubtedly have offered to depose the fact.
Exclamation mark.
Unless, that is, you are proposing an even more preposterous explanation.
So soon though.
That the accused failed even to notice the presence of the true culprit in the very cabin in which he traveled.
He said he was asleep. Ah!
He does look very Milesy when he does that, like, face
Yeah.
palm kind of gesture.
He's right. There was another person traveling in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. It's inconceivable that Mr. McGilda would have been unaware of it. Unless he was sleeping or something. Order! There was clearly a simple solution to this problem.
Bring the accused, Mr. McGilda, to the stand.
Well, what say you, counsel?
Why the fuck not? I mean, the prosecution objects, my lord.
On what grounds?
On grounds that
It's
it would
fucking dumb.
Yes. It's bullshit and stupid. You will already have made a full statement to the police.
But what if there's some reason why he's unable to speak freely?
Magnus McGilda is no uneducated ruffian.
Exclamation mark.
If it indeed turns out the man has been withholding information, you can be sure it will have been a most deliberate act.
Counsel for the defense, what is your opinion? My lord, should we ask Mr. McGill to testify or not? Demand!
Demand it!
Yes, we need to hear what he has to say in order to find out the truth. The defense would like to call Mr. McGilda to the stand. In that case, I would like to hear the opinion of the jury.
You have to call on him.
Right.
I need a little time to consider this.
If you ask me, I think we should hear what Mr. McGilda has to say.
Get the man out here, I say! Stabbity stab! It would be utterly illogical not to hear his testimony.
When something needs doing, get it done. That's how I run things at the guild.
I'm just making my little jumper here. Oh, hearing what the patron of my favorite park has to say, that would be lovely. The jury says the man must be heard.
Very well, the court will hear the defendant's testimony. Aleph, show the defendant to the stand at once. Yeah. Now, maybe what actually happened that night will finally become clear.
Handsome boy.
No, I was hoping for a pause. Oh well. Well, we're pausing anyway. Alright, because it's been 3 hours, so we're going to go find somebody to raid. Let's see. Who is Remen? We've got a couple of interesting people, but let's go find someone else. Let's see if there's anyone else playing the same game. Oh, we've got a beautiful, who looks like a VTuber here. We'll try them. Hold on, we'll do /raid. Alright, so we're going to send everything over to this person. They appear to be a little bit ahead of us, so I'm not going to listen in too much, but, yeah, I will see you guys next time. Remember that this Sunday is my birthday, and we're gonna have a little birthday stream for me. We're gonna do some Jackbox gaming, so if you guys could, join us, that would be really, really awesome. I'd super appreciate it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Mew?